I never thought I'd see my HOA president sprinting down the street screaming her lungs out with a black panther chasing her through the open gate. The lights, the sirens, the neighbors yelling, it was chaos. And the worst part, she brought it on herself. All because she couldn't mind her own business. My name's Daniel Hayes. I moved into Willow Bend Estates about 6 months ago, a place where every blade of grass is measured, every mailbox color is pre-approved, and God forbid your garbage bin stays out past 8 a.m. It's one of those communities that looks peaceful from the outside, but you can feel the control baked into the air. The queen of that little empire was Karen Beaumont, the HOA president, self-proclaimed guardian of neighborhood standards. She was the kind of woman who believed rules were holy scripture, and she was their prophet with a clipboard. When I first moved in, I kept to myself. I worked from home as an environmental systems designer, mostly dealing with remote surveillance for wildlife research. My property backs up to a small forest reserve, a perfect spot for quiet evenings and field testing new camera tech. I didn't attend the welcome meeting, didn't wave at every passerby, and didn't decorate my porch like a seasonal Hallmark movie. That was enough for Karen to put me on her mental watch list. It started small. She'd slow her SUV whenever she passed my driveway, pretending to check if my trash can was too close to the curb. She left little notes about curb appeal and community harmony. I ignored them. But one night I heard rustling near my fence, followed by a low, rumbling growl that vibrated in my chest. I knew exactly what it was because I'd been working with a wildlife rescue program, helping relocate a black panther that had been injured. The sanctuary's rehab center was full, so the county gave me temporary custody. I had full authorization papers, enclosure, everything. But explaining that to a woman like Karen, no chance. The next day she showed up on my porch with her trademark clipboard and sunglasses, tapping her pen like she was writing tickets. "Mr. Hayes," she said, "the board's received some concerning reports about unusual noises coming from your property." I said, "You mean the wind?" Her lips tightened. "The HOA reserves the right to inspect for safety violations." "Then get a warrant," I replied, and shut the door. That was strike one. 2 days later my neighbors started whispering. Kids said they saw green glowing eyes by the woods. Someone claimed they heard claws scraping the fence. Karen used it like fuel. She called an emergency safety meeting, declaring I might be harboring an illegal exotic predator. Half the board laughed it off, but Karen, she doubled down. She wanted proof. When I left for work one morning, she saw her chance. She and 2 board members inspected my yard, meaning they trespassed. They crept along the fence, cameras ready. The panther must have sensed movement because a second later it growled low and slammed against the boards. Hard. The story spread through the neighborhood like wildfire. Karen posted blurry photos in the HOA Facebook group with the caption, "Wild animal kept by neighbor's safety at risk." By the time I came home, people were standing on sidewalks, whispering, filming. Karen strutted over with her clipboard like she owned the place. She didn't even knock, just shoved a folded letter into my mailbox, a $500 fine, and a threat to escalate legally. That night I sat in my kitchen, lights off, just staring at the fence through the window. I could feel anger simmering under my skin. But when I looked at the panther resting peacefully under its shelter, my anger turned into something else, sadness maybe. I hadn't done anything wrong. Yet here I was, treated like a criminal. Then came the night everything flipped. Karen claimed she saw the panther in her yard. She called animal control saying it was loose. They told her they'd come in 48 hours. That wasn't good enough for her. The next morning she showed up again with 2 board members, pretending it was another inspection. She started filming, narrating in that smug HOA tone, "We're just ensuring compliance with safety standards." Then she noticed the latch had splintered slightly, probably from when the panther bumped the fence earlier. She pushed it once, twice. The gate creaked open. I wasn't there, but one of her friends later told me what happened. The panther stepped out from the shadows, slow, deliberate eyes locked on her. Karen froze, phone trembling in her hand. Then it snarled, deep and guttural. She fell backward, screaming. The others bolted. She slammed the gate shut, shaking. But of course she uploaded that shaky footage online before the dust even settled. By the next day I was that guy, the weirdo with a pet panther. Kids were terrified. Parents demanded I move out. Even the local paper ran a story. Predator in Willow Bend. I started wondering if I should just pack up and leave. What was the point? No one believed me. I hadn't broken a single law yet. I was public enemy number one. That night I sat outside with the lights off watching the tree line. I remember whispering to myself, maybe I am the problem. Maybe this place isn't meant for people like me. Then out of the corner of my eye I saw Karen sneaking by my fence again, flashlight in hand, recording. That's when something inside me snapped. Enough was enough. I started pulling my camera log, saving every clip, every time she trespassed, every violation. The next morning I called my lawyer. He told me to hold tight, document everything, and let her hang herself. And she did. 2 nights later, Karen organized a neighborhood watch patrol. About 8 people showed up armed with flashlights and smartphones, led by the woman herself. They walked along the trail behind my house, whispering, filming shadows. I watched them live on my security feed. Then it happened. The Panther lunged one massive leap against the fence. The sound was like thunder. People screamed and ran. Karen fell, dropped her phone, scrambled up, tripped again. The animal didn't break through it, just growled low and deep and backed off. I called the police immediately, showed them everything, the permits, the enclosure logs, the recordings of Karen trespassing. They didn't arrest her that night, but they warned her one more incident and she'd face charges. But Karen wasn't the type to stop. She thought she was untouchable. That weekend, she called another HOA meeting at her house. Dozens showed up desperate for answers. She stood in front of them, playing the video of her attack, spinning it like she was some kind of hero. By the end of the night, they voted to file an eviction demand against me. I'll admit it, I almost lost it. I wanted to confront her right then and there, but I held back. I had something better, truth and time. The next morning, animal control came to my property. I was there waiting. They inspected everything: secure locks, clean permits, feeding logs, digital IDs. The official looked me dead in the eye and said, "Mr. Hayes, you're fully compliant." By noon, the Panther was relocated to the sanctuary. Legally, safely, and that should have been the end of it. But for Karen, it wasn't. That night, she called the police again, saying the Panther was still out there, that she could see its eyes through her window. They checked nothing. No tracks, no fur, no animal. But Karen insisted. She started locking herself in curtains drawn, pacing her house like a prisoner of her own fear. 3 days later, she swore she heard scratching at her door. When she opened it, nothing but a single claw mark carved into the wood. She called the police again, shaking, ranting that I'd released the creature. They told her to calm down, maybe it was vandalism. But I think deep down, she knew what was happening. You see, Karen had spent so long trying to control everything, me, the neighborhood, even nature itself, that when control slipped through her fingers, she couldn't handle it. She became the very thing she feared, the hunted. A week later, I heard sirens near her house. I stepped outside and saw flashing lights at the end of the street. Officers were talking to Karen, who stood barefoot in her driveway, shaking, swearing she saw 2 green eyes in the dark. But there was nothing there, just the forest, quiet and still. After that night, she resigned from the HOA. They voted her out officially a week later. She moved away 2 months after that. Her old house sits empty now, curtains drawn, porch light still flickering like she never turned it off. As for me, I stayed. I rebuilt my fence, fixed the garden, and went back to my work. The neighborhood's quiet again, peaceful even. But every once in a while, when the wind moves just right through the trees, I swear I can hear it, that low, distant growl rolling through the night. Maybe it's just my imagination. Or maybe some things can't be caged, not by laws, not by fences, not by people like Karen. Because when you try to control everything around you, you forget one simple truth. Nature always takes back what's hers.